The morning bell clangs. Arielle's pencil taps rhythmically against her notebook, her hand raised halfway. Ms. Whitaker's gaze sweeps the room, skipping over Arielle, landing on a boy in a blue hoodie. Let's hear from someone else. The class snickers. A girl whispers, she never picks her. Arielle's hand drops. Her notebook wrinkles under her grip, the paper groaning. The overhead lights hum, casting a sickly glow on her desk. Ms. Whitaker strides past, her perfume sharp like lemon stinging Arielle's nose. A janitor mops the hallway outside, his movements slow, eyes flicking to Arielle. She doesn't notice. Her pencil digs into the margin, etching a small hole. Ms. Whitaker calls on the boy. He fumbles his answer. The teacher nods anyway. Good effort. Arielle's throat tightens. She glances at the clock, 9:14 a.m. The second hand ticks louder, each click a judgment. The bell rings. Students shove desks, laughter bouncing off lockers. Arielle lingers, smoothing her notebook's creases. Ms. Whitaker stacks papers, ignoring her. Arielle's backpack scrapes the floor as she stands. The janitor pauses, mop hovering. She meets his gaze, a flicker of understanding, then looks away. Ms. Whitaker finally glances up. Need something? Arielle's voice is soft. No, the teacher's pen taps. Then move along. Arielle steps into the hall, sunlight streaming through windows. Students swirl around her, voices blending into static. She grips her notebook, the hole in the margin now a jagged star. Arielle slides into her seat, shoulders squared. Ms. Whitaker circles the room, heels clicking. She stops beside Arielle's desk, lips curled in a tight, practiced smile. Not everyone's cut out for public speaking, dear. Her voice is syrupy, but the words sting. The class tries to hide their grins. One boy coughs to cover a laugh. Arielle's jaw clenches, but she keeps her eyes forward. Her pencil hovers above her notes, unmoving. The teacher's perfume a sharp, floral scent hangs in the air long after she walks away. Arielle's fingers tighten around her pencil until it snaps, the sound sharp in the hush. Ms. Whitaker moves on, calling on another student. Arielle's broken pencil rolls to the floor, unnoticed by most. A girl across the aisle glances at her, offers a small sympathetic shrug, then looks away. The moment passes, but the weight lingers. Arielle gathers the pieces of her pencil, hands shaking just slightly. She doesn't look up as Ms. Whitaker praises the next answer. Excellent, Olivia. See, confidence matters. The teacher's gaze flickers back to Arielle, then away as if daring her to speak. Arielle presses her lips together, refusing to give Ms. Whitaker the satisfaction of a reaction. The bell rings, chairs scrape, the class empties. Arielle sits a moment longer, breathing slow, steady. She tucks the broken pencil into her bag, a silent promise. As she stands, Ms. Whitaker's voice follows her. Remember, dear, the world rewards those who speak up. Arielle doesn't answer. She walks out, head high, the snapped pencil a secret she carries with her. The debate team sign-up sheet slides down the row, stopping at Arielle's desk. Ms. Whitaker stands at the front, arms crossed, eyebrows raised as if daring her. Arielle's pen hovers above the paper. The room is unusually quiet, every eye on her, waiting. She glances at the list names scrawled in confident loops. A teammate leans over, voice low. Why bother? She never lets you speak. Arielle doesn't answer. Instead, she presses the pen to the paper, writing her name in careful, bold strokes. Ms. Whitaker's gaze sharpens. Are you sure, Arielle? Arielle meets her eyes, voice steady. Yes, I am. A few students exchange glances, uncertain whether to laugh or be impressed. The sheet is whisked away, but her name stands out, ink darker than the rest. Arielle feels her heart pounding, but she keeps her face calm. The clock ticks, each second, marking a shift. A boy behind her mutters, "She's wasting her time." Another girl nudges him, whispering, "Maybe not." Arielle hears both, but she focuses on her signature, her first act of defiance. Ms. Whitaker collects the sheet, lips pressed in a thin line. She doesn't say thank you, Arielle's jaw sets, determination flickering in her eyes. As the bell rings, students file out. Arielle lingers, glancing once more at the sign-up sheet in the teacher's hand. Ms. Whitaker's grip is tight, knuckles pale. Arielle leaves the classroom, steps measured. The hallway feels different, charged, expectant. The storm has begun, and her name is the first thunder. Arielle closes her bedroom door, the late evening settling in. She stands in front of her mirror, debate notes trembling in her hand. Her reflection stares back, uncertain but unbroken. She clears her throat, voice barely above a whisper. Resolved, justice demands action. The words falter, but she tries again. Her mother's photo on the dresser catches her eye. Arielle remembers the gentle encouragement. Speak soft, but dig deep. She nods to herself, straightening her spine. Resolved, justice demands action. This time her voice is steadier, filling the quiet room. She gestures, practicing her opening argument. The mirror offers no judgment, only a silent partner in her rehearsal. Arielle stumbles on a phrase, cheeks flushing. She starts over, determination, hardening her features. Therefore, we must... She hesitates, then repeats the line, stronger. A siren wails outside, fading into the night. Arielle closes her eyes, blocking out the world. She imagines the classroom, the judges, Ms. Whitaker's critical stare. Her hands tremble, but she keeps going. Therefore, we must demand better. She paces, words gaining confidence with each pass. I stand before you, not because I am loud, but because I am right. The sentence lands, echoing in the small space. Arielle exhales, shoulders relaxing. She glances at her notes, crossing out a weak point, rewriting it with care. The mirror reflects her focus, her resolve. Arielle practices one more time, voice clear. Resolved, justice demands action. She lets the words hang, feeling their weight. As she turns off the light, Arielle catches her reflection one last time. She nods, a quiet promise to herself. Tomorrow she'll be ready. The hallway is nearly empty after school. Arielle zips her backpack, ready to leave. Ms. Whitaker appears by the trophy case, voice low but pointed. Arielle, a word. Arielle stops, shifting her weight. Ms. Whitaker's tone is sweet, but her eyes are sharp. Debate isn't your strength. Maybe focus elsewhere. Arielle glances at the trophies, last year's names gathering dust. She grips her backpack strap, feeling its weight. I'll try anyway, she says, voice steady. Ms. Whitaker's lips twitch, almost a smile. You know, some people just don't fit the spotlight. Arielle meets her gaze. Maybe the spotlight needs to move. A teacher walks by, offering a quick nod to Arielle, then hurries away, sensing the tension. Ms. Whitaker lowers her voice. I'm only trying to help you avoid disappointment. Arielle's jaw tightens. Thank you for your concern. Ms. Whitaker steps back, her shoes clicking against the tile. Remember, not every stage is meant for everyone. Arielle doesn't flinch. I'll decide where I stand. Ms. Whitaker's laugh is soft, almost pitying. We'll see. She turns, her reflection warped in the trophy case glass. Arielle watches her go, then looks at her own faint reflection beside the trophies. She squares her shoulders, determination settling in. The hallway is quiet, but Arielle's resolve is louder than any warning. She heads for the exit, each step firmer than the last. Ms. Whitaker's words trail behind her, but Arielle doesn't. Look back. Recess. 3rd grade. Arielle stands in line, sneakers scuffing the blacktop. Mrs. Peters calls for volunteers to lead. Arielle's hand floats upward, hope flickering. The teacher's gaze passes her, settling on a louder classmate. Let's pick someone who can really project, Mrs. Peters says, patting Arielle's shoulder with a gentle but dismissive touch. Arielle lowers her hand, cheeks burning. Kids around her chatter, a few glancing her way before turning back to their games. She kneels by the pavement, tracing a megaphone with blue chalk. The drawing is bright, hopeful, Clouds gather. Rain starts, soft at first, then heavier. The chalk lines blur, color running down the cracks. Arielle watches her. Megaphone fade, fingers curled into her jacket sleeves. No one calls her name. Later, at home, Arielle unpacks her bag. The damp, crumpled drawing falls out. Her mother picks it up, smoothing the wrinkles. "You made this?" Arielle nods, voice small. It was supposed to be loud. Her mother studies the faded lines, then smiles gently. Sometimes the world needs to listen harder. She frames the drawing, placing it on Arielle's desk. Arielle sits at her desk, staring at the framed megaphone. She presses her palm against the glass, feeling the cool surface. The memory of the rain, the teacher's gentle dismissal, lingers, but the drawing remains, a quiet promise that one day her voice will carry. The guidance office is stuffy, sunlight filtered through dusty blinds. Arielle sits across from Mr. Dale, her transcript open on the desk. He scans the papers, tapping, a finger on her English grade. "Honors next year?" he asks, voice careful. Arielle nods, hope flickering in her eyes. Mr. Dale leans back, lips pursed. "You're doing well, but maybe we should set realistic goals. Honors can be overwhelming." He slides a brochure across the desk, the cover bright with trade school options. "These are good paths, too, something to consider." Arielle's fingers curl around the edge of her chair. She looks at the brochure, then at her transcript. "I want to try," she says, voice quiet but firm. Mr. Dale offers a polite smile, but his eyes drift to the clock. "We'll talk to your parents. For now, let's keep things manageable." He closes her file, the sound final. Arielle stands, tucking the brochure into her backpack. In the hallway, she pauses, pulling it out again. The paper is stiff, the corners sharp. She folds it once, twice, shoving it deep under her mattress later that night. At home, Arielle sits at her desk, the framed megaphone drawing beside her. She opens her notebook, writing "honors" in bold letters at the top of the page. The word looks strong, defiant. She glances at the hidden brochure, its promise of limits pressed flat by her determination. Arielle's jaw sets. She's not done dreaming big. Arielle sits at the kitchen table, the air thick with the scent of brewing tea. Her mother moves quietly, pouring hot water, steam curling around her fingers. She takes a seat across from Arielle, eyes tired but kind. "Long day?" she asks, voice gentle. Arielle shrugs, tracing circles on the tabletop. "Mr. Dale thinks honors is too much for me." Her mother's brow furrows, but she says nothing at first, just stirs her tea, the spoon clinking softly. After a moment, she sighs. "When I was up for a promotion, my boss said I didn't have enough presence." She lets the word hang, heavy and sharp. "I worked twice as hard, but it wasn't enough for them." Arielle looks up, searching her mother's face. "Did you stop trying?" Her mother shakes her head. "No, I just learned presence isn't about being loud. It's about being real." Arielle's debate notes sit untouched beside her mug. Her mother reaches over, covering Arielle's hand with her own. "You don't have to shout to matter. You just have to mean it." The kettle whistles softly in the background. Arielle nods, a small smile breaking through. She picks up her notes, determination settling in. Her mother squeezes her hand, then stands to refill their cups. "Don't let them decide how big you get to dream." Arielle watches the steam rise, feeling the warmth of her mother's words. She opens her notebook, pen poised, ready to write her own story. After school, the debate team gathers in the classroom, chatter bouncing off the walls. Ms. Whitaker hands Arielle a rag and dry erase spray. "Let's get these boards spotless before we start," she says, glancing at the others already rehearsing opening statements. Arielle nods, moving to the whiteboard, shoulders tense. She wipes away equations and notes, her own reflection warped in the glossy surface. Laughter erupts from the group as they practice debate rounds. Arielle glances over. No one meets her eye. Ms. Whitaker claps for a teammate's speech, then turns to Arielle. "When you're done, stack the chairs." Arielle's hands move. Quickly, the rag squeaking against the board. A teammate, Jasmine, approaches, slipping her a folded note. "Your last speech chills. Don't stop." Jasmine offers a small, encouraging smile before returning to the group. Arielle tucks the note into her pocket, heart pounding. She finishes cleaning, stacks the chairs, and sits at the edge of the group, unnoticed. Ms. Whitaker hands out debate topics, skipping over Arielle. "We'll get to you next time," she says, voice brisk. Arielle's fingers trace the note in her pocket, drawing strength from Jasmine's words. The team continues, voices loud, energy high. Arielle listens, absorbing every argument, every counterpoint. When the meeting ends, Arielle lingers, erasing stray marks from the board. Ms. Whitaker gathers her things, barely glancing back. Arielle stands alone for a moment, the room quiet now, her resolve sharper than ever. She leaves, the note pressed to her palm, a reminder that even in the background, her presence matters. The library is nearly empty, just the faint hum of computers and the soft shuffle of books. Arielle searches for a reference text, but her eyes catch a crumpled paper wedged behind a shelf. She pulls it free, smoothing the wrinkles. It's a resignation letter, handwritten and weary. 20 years cleaning their disrespect. Last straw. "Move faster, Juan. My name's Carlos." The words are shaky, the ink faded in places. Arielle reads it twice, the weight settling in her chest. Carlos, the janitor, passes by, pushing his cart. He pauses when he sees the letter in her hand. Their eyes meet. He gives a slight nod, then continues down the aisle. His steps slow, but steady. Arielle takes out her phone, snapping a picture. The flash bounces off the dust motes, lighting up the forgotten corners of the library. She folds the letter carefully, tucking it into her notebook. At home, she shows her mother. "He worked here my whole life," Arielle says quietly. Mother scans the letter, lips pressed tight. People like Carlos. They're always the first to be overlooked. Arielle places the letter next to her debate notes. She stares at the handwriting, thinking about all the time she's walked past Carlos without a word. The next morning, she finds the library empty again, but the memory of Carlos's nod stays with her. She writes his name at the top of her next speech draft, a small act of remembrance. Arielle knows now. Some stories need to be carried forward, even if they start in the shadows. Arielle's phone buzzes just after midnight, the glow lighting her face in the dark. She opens her email, subject line, "Don't be me." The sender is Tasha, a graduate she barely remembers. The message is raw. "Ms. Whitaker told me I lacked polish. I stopped raising my hand. I stopped trying." Arielle reads on, Tasha's words tumbling out. "I let her box me in. Don't let her do it to you. You're more than her limits." The email ends with a simple line, "Unbox yourself." Arielle sits up, heart pounding. She saves the email as Proof 1, flagging it in her inbox. The room is quiet except for the hum of her laptop. She rereads the message, feeling a strange mix of anger and hope. Her mother knocks softly, peeking in. "You okay?" Arielle nods, closing her laptop. "Yeah, just thinking." Her mother lingers in the doorway, then steps away, leaving Arielle alone with her thoughts. Arielle pulls out her debate notes, scribbling "Unbox yourself" at the top of the page. She glances at the framed megaphone drawing on her desk, its colors faded but still bold. She opens a new document, starting a list: Tasha's email, Carlos's letter, Jasmine's note, each one a piece of proof, a reason to keep going. Arielle leans back, letting the words settle. She won't be boxed in, not now. The screen dims, but Arielle's resolve is brighter than ever. The hallway buzzes between classes. Arielle stands by her locker, shuffling books. Marcus leans in, voice barely above a whisper. Whitaker's nervous. She thinks you'll outshine her favorites. He glances over his shoulder, making sure no one's listening. Arielle's debate binder slips from her grip. Marcus catches it, their hands brushing. "I'm not sure I belong," she mutters, eyes down. He shakes his head. "You do. She's the one who's worried." He hands the binder back, fingers lingering for a second. Use it. Arielle nods, gripping the binder tighter. Footsteps echo down the hall. A teacher passes, offering Marcus a puzzled look, then hurries away. Arielle tucks a loose strand of hair behind her ear, her jaw set. Marcus lowers his voice. Don't let her decide your place. You're better than that. Arielle manages a small, grateful smile. Thanks. The bell rings, sharp and final. Students scatter. Arielle watches Marcus disappear into the crowd, her resolve settling in. She slides the binder into her bag, shoulders squared. As she heads to class, she repeats his words in her mind. Not hers. Not this time. Bathroom light flickers. Arielle stands at the sink, debate notes propped against the mirror. She clears her throat, voice shaky. Resolved. Justice demands. Her reflection stares back, uncertain. She tries again, louder. Resolved. Justice demands accountability. The words echo off tile, bouncing back at her. She pauses, fingers tracing the countertop. Therefore, her voice falters, the next line caught in her throat. She closes her eyes, picturing the classroom, Ms. Whitaker's raised eyebrow. The students waiting. Arielle grips the edge of the sink, knuckles white. She tries again. Therefore, we must. The faucet drips, a steady metronome. Arielle's voice steadies. Therefore, we must demand better. She meets her own, gaze, determination flickering. She runs through her opening, correcting herself mid-sentence. No, that's not strong enough. She rewrites a line, lips moving silently. I stand here not because I'm loud, but because I'm right. The phrase lands, her reflection almost nodding in approval. Arielle paces, reciting arguments, testing each point. The bathroom grows warmer, steam fogging the mirror's edges. She wipes it clear with her sleeve, locking eyes with herself. She practices her closing line, soft but firm. Change starts when we refuse to be quiet. The words linger in the air. Arielle breathes deep, shoulders relaxing. She gathers her notes, turning off the light. The mirror holds her image a moment, longer, confidence blooming where doubt once lived. Arielle opens the door, stepping back into the world, ready for whatever comes next. Arielle sits at her desk, graded essays stacked in front of her. She flips to the top page, her own marked B+ in bold red ink. Too ambitious is scrawled in the margin. She glances at Olivia's paper beside hers, an A with half the sources and a brief conclusion. Arielle's jaw tightens. She pulls out her phone, snapping a photo of both essays side by side. The red marks on her paper stand out, harsh and final. Olivia catches her eye from across the room, offering a hesitant smile, unsure whether to celebrate or apologize. Ms. Whitaker walks by, pausing at Arielle's desk. You have potential, but you need to be realistic, she says, voice flat. Arielle doesn't reply, just tucks the essays into her folder, hands steady. A boy nearby leans over, whispering, She always does that. Arielle nods, not trusting herself to speak. She glances at her notes, rewriting her thesis with sharper focus. Later, at home, Arielle lays the essays on her bed, comparing every comment. She circles the differences, each mark fueling her determination. Her mother knocks, peeking in. Everything. Okay? Arielle nods, holding up the papers. Just making sure I'm not imagining things. Her mother studies the essays, lips pressed tight. You're not. Arielle files the photos, labeling them proof 2. She sits back, resolving to settle in. Tomorrow she'll write her next draft bolder, louder on the page, if not in the room. The missing A is a challenge, not a defeat. The classroom empties, chairs scraping as students leave. Arielle lingers, phone hidden in her sleeve. Ms. Whitaker talks with another teacher near the window. That girl's delusional. Nationals. Please, I'm just being honest. The other teacher shifts, glancing at the door, then nods, uneasy. Arielle's thumb hovers over the record button. She captures every word, heart pounding. Ms. Whitaker's tone is casual, almost bored. She needs to learn her place before she embarrasses herself. The other teacher offers a weak, maybe she just needs encouragement, but Ms. Whitaker waves her off. Arielle slips out, phone buzzing in her palm. She listens to the recording in the bathroom, breath shallow. The words sting, but the evidence is clear. She saves the file, naming it Cuts. At home, she replays the audio, headphones tight against her ears. Her mother walks in, pausing at the doorway. "What's that?" Arielle hesitates, then says, "Proof." Her mother nods, understanding without asking more. Arielle files the recording with her other evidence. She sits at her desk, staring at the growing folder. Each file is a shield, a reason to keep going. She opens her debate notebook, writing a new argument. This time she doesn't hold back. The recording plays. Once more, Ms. Whitaker's words fueling every line. Arielle closes her eyes, letting the anger settle into determination. She's not delusional. She's ready. Arielle sits on her bed, phone glowing in her hands. Her thumb hovers over the keyboard. She types, erases, then types again. "Teacher says I'm delusional to dream. Today I qualified for state." She attaches the audio file, fingers trembling. She stares at the screen, heart racing. The cursor blinks, waiting. Her mother's voice floats from the hallway, gentle but firm. "You sure you want to do this?" Arielle swallows, nodding to herself. "I have to." She presses send. The app spins, uploading. For a moment the room feels suspended, every sound amplified. The faint hum of the heater, the distant siren outside, her own shallow breath. The tweet posts. She sets her phone down, staring at the ceiling, pulse thumping in her ears. A notification dings, then another. Her hands shake as she picks up the phone again. Messages pour in. "This was me." "Thank you for saying it." "You're not alone." Arielle scrolls, eyes wide, absorbing every word. A classmate retweets her post. A stranger replies with encouragement. The likes climb higher. Her mother peeks in, searching Arielle's face. "You okay?" Arielle nods, a small determined smile breaking through. "Yeah, I am." She closes her eyes, letting the relief wash over her. The fear is still there, but it's smaller now, crowded out by support she never expected. Arielle opens her debate notebook, scribbling a new line. "Speak, even when they tell you not to." Her phone buzzes again, but this time, it feels like hope. Arielle's phone vibrates non-stop, screen lighting up with every new notification. Her tweet spreads fast, shared by classmates, strangers, even a local reporter. Comments stack up. "I've been there." "Keep going." "We see you." She scrolls, heart pounding, each message a small jolt of validation. A direct message pops up. "Can we talk for an interview?" Arielle hesitates, fingers hovering, then types back, "Yes." Her debate notebook sits open beside her, lines of arguments now joined by words of support from people she's never met. Meanwhile, Ms. Whitaker's classroom stays dark, the door closed. In the staff room, teachers whisper, glancing at their phones. One shakes her head, muttering, "Did you see what she posted?" Another replies, "It was about time." The principal walks by, pausing at the door, concerned, flickering across his face. Arielle's mother sits beside her, reading. Over her shoulder, "You started something," she says quietly. Arielle nods, hands still trembling, but her voice steadier. "I just told the truth." The notifications keep coming. A former student replies, "Wish I'd had your courage." Arielle's eyes sting, but she smiles. She looks up, the room brighter now, the weight she's carried a little lighter. She closes her notebook, phone still buzzing. The world is watching, listening. Arielle takes a deep breath, ready for what comes next. Backstage hums with nervous energy. Arielle stands in the wings, gripping her debate folder. The announcer's voice booms, "Next up, Arielle Brooks." She steps forward, feet steady, heart pounding. The stage lights blind her for a moment, but she squares her shoulders, walking. To the podium. Miss Whitaker sits in the front row, pen tapping a frantic rhythm on her notepad. Arielle glances at her, then looks away, focusing on the microphone. She adjusts it, hands steadying. The judge nods. Begin when ready. Arielle breathes in, voice low at first. Resolved. Justice demands more than words. The room quiets, attention sharpening. She continues, each line stronger. Her arguments build confidence, growing with every sentence. A cough echoes from the audience. Ms. Whitaker's pen slips, leaving a blue streak across her notes. Arielle keeps going, gaze sweeping the crowd. She sees classmates, a few teachers, even her mother in the back, hands clasped tight. She pauses, letting the quiet settle. We are not here to be overlooked. We are here to be heard. The judge leans forward, interest piqued. Arielle's hands stop shaking. Ms. Whitaker's jaw tightens. She whispers something to the coach beside her, but Arielle doesn't flinch. She delivers her closing point, voice unwavering. Justice isn't given. It's claimed. The room holds still. Arielle steps back from the podium, pulse racing but face calm. The lights are hot, but she stands tall, waiting for the next round. A judge clears his throat, interrupting Arielle mid-argument. Your rebuttal, please? She pauses, scanning the judges' faces, then the crowd. Her voice is steady. Respectfully, you're missing the point. The words land, sharp and clear. A student in the balcony leans forward, phone raised, recording every word. Ms. Whitaker stiffens, pen frozen above her notes. The coach beside her whispers, she's got their attention. Ms. Whitaker doesn't respond, eyes locked on Arielle. Arielle continues, building her case. We can't debate justice if we refuse to see who's left out. She glances at the judges, then at her teammates, who nod in silent support. Her hands rest lightly on the podium now, confidence growing. A ripple moves through the audience. Someone whispers, she's right. Another judge scribbles notes, brow furrowed. Arielle's words fill the room. No shouting needed. Ms. Whitaker shifts in her seat, crossing her arms. She glances at the coach, voice low. She's making this personal. The coach shrugs, eyes on Arielle. Maybe it is. Arielle delivers, her final rebuttal, voice unwavering. If we don't challenge what's broken, we become part of it. The judge nods, impressed. A hush falls as Arielle steps back, letting her words linger. The student in the balcony lowers his phone, grinning. Ms. Whitaker's pen finally moves again, shaky and uncertain. Arielle looks out at the audience, then at her mother, who gives a small, proud nod. The next speaker approaches, but the room still buzzes with Arielle's challenge. Ms. Whitaker's fingers fumble with her pen, blue ink pooling on the program in her lap. She wipes her hand on her skirt, leaving a faint stain. Arielle's voice rings out, citing statistics, each point crisp. The audience murmurs approval. Ms. Whitaker digs her nails into her palm, jaw clenched. The coach beside her leans in, whispering, she's winning them over. Ms. Whitaker doesn't answer, eyes darting between Arielle and the judges. Her coach badge slips sideways, the pin loose. She straightens it with shaking hands, but it tilts again. Arielle glances her way, not pausing. Ms. Whitaker's notes blur, ink smudged from her grip. She tries to write, but the pen sputters, leaving only streaks. She drops it, frustration flashing across her face. A judge asks a question. Arielle responds, calm and precise. Ms. Whitaker shifts in her seat, crossing her legs, then uncrossing them. Sweat beads at her temple, glinting in the stage lights. A student behind Ms. Whitaker whispers, she's never looked this nervous. The coach nods, watching Ms. Whitaker's composure slip. Arielle's final point lands. The crowd leans in, silent. Ms. Whitaker's hands tremble as she gathers her papers, the ink-stained program crumpling in her fist. She glances at the exit, then forces herself to stay seated, face tight. Arielle steps back from the podium, eyes steady. Ms. Whitaker looks down, unable to meet her gaze. The power in the room has shifted, and everyone feels it. Arielle finishes her closing argument, voice unwavering. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. The words hang in the air, tension thick. For a moment, no one moves. Then, a black woman in the third row stands, clapping slowly. Her applause is deliberate, echoing in the quiet. Others rise, one by one. The sound builds, a wave of hands coming together. Students in the balcony cheer, some wiping away tears. Arielle stands, still, letting the moment wash over her. Her braids catch the light, a subtle crown. Ms. Whitaker shrinks in her seat, hands folded tightly in her lap. She glances around, searching for support, but finds none. The coach beside her offers a stiff nod to Arielle, respect clear in his eyes. A judge leans forward, smiling. "Well done, Ms. Brooks." Arielle meets his gaze, nodding once. Her teammates gather near the stage, pride shining on their faces. A student in the front row snaps a photo, capturing Arielle's calm in the spotlight. The ovation swells, filling the auditorium with energy. Arielle's mother stands at the back, hands clasped, eyes shining. Arielle doesn't smile, but her posture says everything. She nods to the crowd, acknowledging their support. The applause continues, long after she steps away from the podium. Ms. Whitaker sits motionless, the noise around her growing louder. Her authority, once unquestioned, now feels fragile. The room has chosen its champion, and it isn't her. Arielle leaves the stage, head high, the echoes of applause following her into the wings. The judge steps forward, holding the trophy. Gold gleams under the lights. Arielle meets his eyes, hands, steady as she accepts the award. The applause fades to a hush. Ms. Whitaker rises, forcing a smile, reaching out for a handshake. Arielle hesitates, then grips her hand firm, unyielding, brief. Ms. Whitaker's voice is low, brittle. "Congratulations. You surprised us all." Arielle's reply is quiet, cutting through the space. "I didn't need your permission to speak." The judge clears his throat, nodding at Arielle. "You earned this." Arielle turns, trophy in hand. Her teammates gather around, offering hugs and pats on the back. The engraving catches her eye. Champion. She runs her thumb over the letters, feeling their weight. Miss Whitaker stands alone, hands still outstretched, trembling. The coach joins, her murmuring, "She did what you said she couldn't." Ms. Whitaker pulls her hand back, face flushed. Arielle's mother appears at the edge of the stage, tears in her eyes. Arielle steps down, handing her the trophy for a moment. "We did it," she whispers. Her mother hugs her, pride radiating. A photographer snaps a picture, capturing Arielle, her mother, and the trophy. Ms. Whitaker lingers in the background, expression unreadable. Arielle looks out at the crowd, the gold trophy heavy but right, in her hands. She breathes deep, letting the truth settle. This moment belongs to her. Backstage is a blur of congratulations and camera flashes. Arielle clutches the trophy, weaving through the crowd. Reporters call her name, microphones extended, but she keeps moving, slipping through a side door into the cool night air. Her breath fogs as she exhales, shoulders finally relaxing. Inside, Ms. Whitaker stands frozen near the stage, one heel caught in a discarded program. She tugs it free, glancing around as the crowd thins. The coach offers her a brief, sympathetic nod before joining the others in celebration. Ms. Whitaker lingers, watching Arielle's teammates surround her, laughter echoing down the hallway. Arielle pulls out her phone, thumbs a quick message. "We did it." She sends it to her mother, who replies instantly with a heart. The screen's glow lights up Arielle's face, pride and relief mingling in her eyes. She leans against the wall, trophy pressed to her chest. The auditorium empties, the energy fading. Ms. Whitaker is the last to leave, her footsteps uneven as she crosses the stage, head bowed. She pauses at the exit, looking back once at the trophy in Arielle's arms, then slips into the shadows. Arielle straightens, wiping a tear from her cheek. She walks toward the parking lot, each step sure. The trophy's weight is real, but so is her sense of belonging. The night is quiet, but Arielle's legacy is loud in every heart she touched tonight. Arielle wakes to her phone buzzing nonstop. Overnight, a student's video of her speech has exploded online. The view count climbs by the second. Comments pour in. I needed this. She's the reason I'll try again. Arielle scrolls, stunned, the world's encouragement flooding her screen. Ms. Whitaker sits alone in her office, email notifications pinging relentlessly. Parent complaints, media requests, even former students demanding answers. She deletes them, but the sound keeps coming, relentlessly. The principal's footsteps echo in the hallway. Ms. Whitaker's hands tremble as she closes her laptop. Arielle's mother rushes in, phone in hand. "You're everywhere," she says, tears in her eyes. Arielle smiles, overwhelmed. It feels unreal. She replays the clip, watching. Herself stand tall, voice unwavering. The comments keep coming, each one a spark. At school, students stop Arielle in the hallway. Some high-five her. Others just nod, respect in their eyes. Teachers whisper, "That's her," as she passes. The debate coach grins, pride obvious. Ms. Whitaker walks the halls, head down, avoiding glances. A student holds up their phone. Arielle's speech pauses on the screen. Ms. Whitaker turns away, her authority slipping further with every step. Arielle sits in the cafeteria, phone buzzing beside her tray. She closes her eyes, letting the noise fade. For the first time, she feels seen, not just by her school, but by the world. Ms. Whitaker enters her classroom early, the air stale and cold. She sets her bag down, glancing at the debate board. Arielle's name is still there, bold and underlined. Ms. Whitaker picks up an eraser, hand trembling, and wipes the name away. Chalk dust settles on her fingers, clinging stubbornly. She arranges her lesson plans, but the seats remain empty. The clock ticks, louder than usual. A janitor pushes his cart past the open door, pausing. He catches her eye, offers a quiet nod, then moves on. Ms. Whitaker's shoulders slump. She stands at the podium, looking out at rows of vacant desks. Her voice cracks as she rehearses her lecture, but there's no one to hear. She stops, staring at the empty seats, the words dying in her throat. A student's laughter echoes from the hallway. Ms. Whitaker flinches, dropping the eraser. It rolls under a desk, out of reach. She kneels to retrieve it, dust clinging to her skirt. Rising slowly, she glances at the door, hoping for a late arrival. None comes. She sits at her desk, scrolling through her inbox. More complaints, more requests for meetings. She closes her laptop, rubbing her temples. The bell rings, but no one enters. Her authority, once absolute, now feels hollow. Ms. Whitaker gazes at the empty podium, realization settling in. The classroom, once her domain, belongs to someone else now. She gathers her things, moving slowly, leaving the room quieter than she found it. Arielle places the trophy on the living room shelf, right beside her mother's framed photo. The sunlight catches the engraving, casting gold reflections across the wall. She traces her name on the plaque, breathtaking. Downstairs, the doorbell rings. A reporter, a bouquet, a college scout. Voices blending in the foyer. She hesitates, hand resting on the trophy. The old chalk drawing of a megaphone, once bright and hopeful, now hangs faded above her desk. Arielle glances at it, remembering the rain that washed it away years ago. She smiles, realizing her voice finally carried farther than chalk ever could. Her mother steps in, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. "They're here for you," she says softly. Arielle nods, nerves and pride mixing in her chest. She takes a deep breath, smoothing her shirt, and heads for the stairs. The house is filled with conversation questions, congratulations, and plans for the future. Arielle listens, answering with calm confidence. She catches her reflection in the hallway mirror, trophy in hand, posture tall. Later, when the visitors leave, Arielle sits quietly in her room. The trophy gleams in the dusk. The house is peaceful, but the silence is different now, full, not empty. Her dreams, once erased by rain, are now etched in gold. Ms. Whitaker moves. Through the school at dusk, halls nearly deserted. She clutches a cardboard box, personal items rattling inside. Her heels click unevenly on the linoleum, echoing down the corridor. She passes the trophy case. Arielle's name gleams from the front page of the local paper, framed behind glass. A student walks by, earbuds in, humming the viral clip of Arielle's speech. He glances at Ms. Whitaker, then looks away, barely acknowledging her. She tightens her grip on the box, shoulders hunched. At the stairwell, her heel catches on a loose tile. The shoe snaps, sending her off balance. She steadies herself against the railing, leaving the broken heel behind. She limps the rest of the way, dignity slipping with every step. Outside, the parking lot is empty. Ms. Whitaker pauses, looking back at the glowing windows of the school. The building feels distant now, belonging to a new generation. She unlocks her car, sliding the box into the back seat. Her hands linger on the steering wheel, knuckles white. As she drives away, the EI school fades in the rearview mirror. The last bell rings inside, marking the end of her era. Ms. Whitaker doesn't look back again. Her authority, once unquestioned, now gone left behind with the broken heel and an empty hallway. Ms. Whitaker sits alone at her desk, the classroom dim in the late afternoon. Her computer screen glows with headlines. Arielle Brooks inspires. A generation. She scrolls through emails, each one questioning her judgment, her recommendations, her fairness. The words blur, but the meaning is clear. She glances at the empty desks, sunlight slanting across dust motes. Her lesson plans are stacked neatly, untouched. She picks up a letter from the principal, hands trembling. "We're reviewing your past recommendations." The paper crinkles as she sets it aside. A custodian enters quietly, emptying the trash. He pauses, meeting her eyes with a brief, searching look. She nods, but he says nothing, moving on. Ms. Whitaker opens a drawer, pulling out old student essays. She reads a few lines, recognizing names she once dismissed, stories she never bothered to hear. Regret flickers across her face. Her phone buzzes, a parent requesting a meeting, a student asking for a different mentor. She closes her eyes, the weight of absence pressing in. She stands, walking to the window. Outside, students gather around. Arielle, laughter and conversation drifting up. Ms. Whitaker watches, unseen. Her authority, once absolute, now feels like a memory. She returns to her desk, staring at the empty chairs. The verdict isn't loud. It's in every unanswered email, every student who doesn't return, every colleague who avoids her gaze. Ms. Whitaker exhales, shoulders slumping. The classroom is quiet, but the message is unmistakable. Her reign has ended not with confrontation, but with quiet, irreversible change. The first bell rings. Arielle steps through the front doors, backpack slung over one shoulder. The hallway is alive with chatter, but as she walks, voices hush. A few students clap softly, others nod in her direction. Some just watch, eyes wide with something like awe. Arielle keeps her head high, moving past lockers decorated with notes. "Congrats, Arielle!" and hand-drawn stars. A teacher leans out of a classroom offering a genuine smile. "Welcome back, Ms. Brooks." Arielle nods, warmth blooming in her chest. A group of underclassmen whisper to each other. One girl nudging her friend, whispering, "That's her." Arielle catches their gaze, offering a small, reassuring smile. The girl straightens, pride flickering in her eyes. Ms. Whitaker stands at the end of the hall, arms crossed, face unreadable. She steps aside as Arielle passes, not meeting her eyes. Another teacher gives Arielle a thumbs up, voice low. "You made us proud." The debate trophy glints in the display case, sunlight catching the engraving. Arielle pauses for a heartbeat, reading her name. A janitor nearby nods, respect in his eyes. "Good to see you, champ," he murmurs, and Arielle's smile widens. As she moves on, the applause fades, replaced by a new energy, a sense that things have changed. Arielle's presence fills the corridor, her dignity impossible to overlook. She rounds the corner, ready for whatever comes next. The hallway is quiet as Arielle approaches the trophy case. Sunlight streams through the windows, making the gold plaque shine. Her name is etched front and center, the letters bold. Younger students gather, reading the inscription, whispering her story to each other. Their faces are a mix of wonder and hope. Arielle kneels, tracing her finger along the glass. The janitor, Mr. Lopez, pauses nearby, polishing the case with slow, careful strokes. He catches Arielle's eye, offering a small, genuine smile. "You earned that," he says quietly. Arielle nods, gratitude in her eyes. A teacher stops, arms full of books, and glances at the display. "First time I've seen them pay attention to the trophy case," she remarks to Mr. Lopez, who chuckles softly. Arielle stands, feeling the weight of the moment. A group of students snapped a photo, one of them saying, "I want to join the debate now." Arielle smiles, pride and responsibility mingling inside her. The trophy is more than an award, it's proof that things can shift, that stories can change. As the bell rings, the hallway fills again. Arielle steps back, watching the crowd. For a moment, she sees her younger self reflected in the glass, hopeful and determined. She straightens, ready to lead by example. In the main office, Ms. Whitaker sits at a conference table, a stack of recommendation letters in front of her. Administrators review each one, red pens poised. A parent sits across from her, voice steady. "I want to know why my daughter wasn't recommended for honors." Ms. Whitaker's fingers drum the table, searching for words. A counselor flips through the letters, brow furrowed. "There's a pattern here," she says quietly. Ms. Whitaker's face tightens. "I only wanted what was best." The principal leans forward. "Best for whom?" The question hangs, heavy. Outside the glass door, students pass, some glancing in, curiosity and skepticism in their eyes. Ms. Whitaker glances at her own words on the page, realizing how many dreams she'd quietly redirected. A former student's letter is read aloud. "She told me I wasn't ready. I believed her." The room is silent. Ms. Whitaker swallows, regret flickering across her face. The administrator marks a letter, sliding it aside. "We'll be reviewing these." Ms. Whitaker nods, voice barely above a whisper. "Understood." She gathers the remaining letters, hands unsteady. As the meeting ends, the principal stands. "We owe our students better." Ms. Whitaker lingers, staring at the stack of letters, each one a mirror of choices she can't undo. The cafeteria buzzes with lunchtime chatter. Arielle sits at a corner table, debating the notebook open. A younger student approaches, clutching a tray, voice hesitant. "Can I sit here? I want to try out for debate." Arielle nods, offering a welcoming smile. Another student slides in too, the seat beside her, notebook in hand. "How do you handle nerves?" he asks, eyes wide with hope. Arielle thinks for a moment. "Practice. And remember, your story matters." The words come easily now, confidence rooted in experience. A teacher walks by, pausing. "Arielle, would you lead a workshop next week?" Arielle agrees, her voice steady. Around her, more students gather, some asking for advice, others just listening. She answers each question with care, her encouragement, quiet but firm. Arielle's phone buzzes with a message from Jasmine. "You're the reason I joined." Arielle smiles, replying, "You'll be great." The group around her grows, drawn by her calm presence. A student across the table says, "I never thought someone like me could do this." Arielle meets her gaze, sincerity in her tone. "You can, and you should." As the bell rings, the students disperse, but several linger, thanking her. Arielle gathers her things, feeling the shift. She's no longer just a competitor. She's the mentor she once needed, her voice now a guide for others. Arielle's mother stands at the front of the classroom, hands clasped, eyes shining with pride. Students settle into their seats, curiosity in their faces. She begins, voice steady. I wasn't always heard in my own workplace, but I never stopped believing my story mattered. The class leans in, drawn by her honesty. She glances at Arielle in the back row, offering a warm smile. My daughter taught me that you don't have to be loud to make a difference. A boy in the front raises his hand. How did you keep going? She pauses, thinking. I remembered who I was, even when others forgot. A teacher nods, visibly moved. Arielle's mother continues, sometimes the world will try to shrink your dreams. Don't let it. She shares a story of her own challenges, the setbacks and small victories that shaped her journey. Arielle watches, heart swelling. The students listen, some jotting down notes, others just absorbing the moment. When the bell rings, a girl lingers, thanking Arielle's mother for her words. You made me feel seen, she says softly. Arielle joins her mother at the front, pride and gratitude in her eyes. They embrace a quiet moment of victory. The classroom buzzes with new energy. Students, talking about dreams and possibilities. As they leave together, Arielle's mother squeezes her hand. You're the reason I kept going. Arielle smiles, knowing their story has become a beacon for others. Arielle walks through the main hallway, backpack slung over one shoulder. A new poster hangs by the office door. Every voice matters. The letters are bold, impossible to miss. Students pause to read it, some snapping photos, others nodding in approval. The atmosphere feels lighter, more open. The debate team gathers near the poster, their new coach greeting each member with a handshake. Glad you're here, she says to a shy freshman. Arielle joins the group, noticing more students of color than ever before. Laughter and friendly banter fill the air as teammates share ideas for the next competition. A teacher stops beside Arielle, voice warm. This is what change looks like. Arielle smiles, watching as a group of younger students sign up for debate, their excitement contagious. The coach posts the roster, making sure every name is visible. In the practice room, students arrange chairs in a circle, inviting everyone to speak. The old hierarchy is gone. Every opinion is valued. Arielle takes her seat, listening as a new member shares her story. The group listens, nodding, encouragement flowing freely. After practice, Arielle lingers in the hallway, reading the poster one more time. She touches the edge, feeling the promise behind the words. The policy isn't just decoration. It's a new standard, a visible reminder that things have shifted for good. She walks away, hopeful, the sound of laughter and conversation following her down the hall. The classroom is bright, desks arranged in a welcoming circle. Arielle stands at the front, debate notebook in hand. New team members watch her, anticipation in their eyes. She starts, voice clear. Let's talk about what makes an argument powerful. The group leans in, eager for her guidance. Arielle invites each student to share an idea. A quiet boy hesitates, then speaks. She listens, nodding, encouraging him to continue. That's a great point, she says, her tone warm. The room fills with energy as others join in, building on each other's thoughts. A teacher peeks in, smiling at the sight. Arielle leads with confidence, her presence calm but commanding. She moves around the circle, pausing to answer questions, offering tips she once wished she'd heard. You don't have to shout to be heard, she reminds them. You just have to believe in what you're saying. The students take notes, some grinning, others deep in concentration. Arielle's advice is practical, her encouragement genuine. She shares a story from her first debate, laughter breaking the tension. As the session ends, students linger, thanking her for her help. Arielle gathers her things, pausing to look at the group. Pride swells in her chest. She knows she's made a difference. She steps into the hallway, head high. The journey from overlooked to leader is complete. Her voice, once doubted, now guides others. The legacy of quiet strength is hers to pass on.